Hello, everybody. Welcome. And we'll get started. So you have your chair. We're going to have our poll today. And I have a smaller towel. So a smaller towel for when we're doing a bit of stretching and using it between our knees, that sort of thing. But don't worry if you don't have either of those things. There's modifications that we can do. All right. Put this over here. All right. So sitting up, nice and tall on your sit bones. Near the front of your chair. So you want to make sure that you're balanced right cheek and left cheek. Okay, so you can always imagine that, you're on a deli scale, one bottom and the other bottom. And maybe we're going to tilt to one side. So maybe tilt to one side and lift your hip up. That's it. And then put that down and the other side. So you can get that feeling, just exaggerating it by going from one side and to the other side. So throughout the workout today, remember to be mindful of your own body. Just go within your own comfort zone. Okay? If anything doesn't feel right or uncomfortable or painful or whatever, you can just leave that exercise out or modify as you need it. All right, so come to a place where you're balancing equal weight between one cheek and the other cheek in your bottom. That's it. Put your hands flat down on the top of your thighs. Good. And make sure you're sitting near the front of your chair. Now, just take your mind to the awareness of your feet and where the soles of your feet are sitting on the floor. So you might have a mat under your feet like I do, or you could be on the carpet or perhaps a hard floor, but just notice what parts of your feet feel. Is it your heels? The pads of your toes? The balls of your feet? Toe back to the heel again. Some of us might have flat feet, so even our arches touch. Or some of us might have a bit of an arc there, a little bit of an airway from the ball of the big toe down back towards the heel, but on the inside of the foot. Good. Good. And just bring that awareness from your feet, let it travel up through your calves, up through your shins, up to your kneecaps, traveling through the bones of your thighs, all the way into the crease of your hips. And notice if that helps you sit a bit heavier or more stable through those sit bones, those bum bones that are on your chair. Then take that awareness to the front of your hip bones. You can keep your hands on your thighs, but right here. Okay. And notice if those hip bones are tilting down towards your thighs or if they're slouching back away. Okay. So we're going to sit up tall. And we're going to exaggerate those two movements. So we're going to stick our butt out a bit, bring our hips forward. I'm going to sit sideways. You keep sitting facing me. So we're just going to become aware of the bowl of our pelvis. So sort of like sticking your butt out, hips draw down close to your thighs, back to the middle, so that weight is even in both sit bones, and then tucking back just a little bit, back maybe onto a bit of your tailbone or that area, and then back up onto your sit bones, nice and tall, and then forward. So it's like you're pushing your pubic bone back. If you had a tail, you'd be sticking your tail out a little bit, and then back to center, even on both sit bones, and then tilting back a bit. So it's just a very small range of motion. We've done this exercise before in a bigger range of motion when we're doing our abdominal work, but this is just small. This is just a body awareness exercise of realizing, feeling our pelvis moving separate from our thigh bones. And back again. And then sitting up nice and tall. And you want to find a nice comfortable feeling even on both sit bones, not overarching and not tucking under either. Then from there, with that sacral bone, this triangular bone at the bottom of the base of the spine, just take your mind up through the sides of your hips, into your waist, up through your spine. You can have your hands flat on your thighs if you like, keeping your shoulders relaxed. And again, just taking that awareness up through the back of your spine, but if you can imagine the inside front of your spine as well. So we're going up through the low back, the waist, where we meet the rib cage, and noticing where that rib cage is sitting. Is your rib cage sitting forward of your pelvis? Is it sunk in? We want it to just sit nice and even over our pelvis, over our sit bones. And then we travel that awareness up through the rib cage, up through the accordion, between the shoulder blades. Some of us have a little bit more of a hump between our shoulder blades. Some of us squeeze our shoulder blades back a lot. Just see if you can become aware of what your body and posture is like. Now, once you get to the shoulders, think of your collarbones. Think of those collarbones getting nice and wide, right from the middle of your chest, from the breastbone out, like a coat hanger. All the way up to the tips of your shoulder blades, nice and wide through your back and nice and open through the front. And notice where your shoulders are sitting. Are they hunched up towards your ears? Are they pulled down towards your waist? Is one a little bit forward than the other? One a little bit back? Just see how those feel. Your upper arm bones sitting in the socket of the shoulder girdle. Sit. And then travel that awareness up through the back and the front of your neck. So your throat, as well as the back. That's it. And do a gentle poke forward with your chin. So you gently poke it forward just slightly, which is what we do a lot of the day, looking at our phones and our iPads and computers, and then pull the chin back in a little bit further than, yeah, and a little bit forward. Just a nice, easy range of motion. Don't force this movement. All face. And then pulling your chin back in to the middle and forward. Just gently back to the middle and pulling it back in slightly. And then just let that head rest naturally over the shoulders. Imagine right through your upper palate, the roof of your mouth, like going right through the crown of the head. Just think about your head, that weight of your head floating above the shoulders, that you're decompressing through the neck. Good. Let your arms just hang down by their sides. That's it. We're going to breathe in as we take the arms over the head, keeping that awareness of the spine being nice and tall, and awareness of the feet into the floor. So we're breathing in. Lots of space through the rib cage, all the way up, shoulders up towards the ceiling. That's it. And then the shoulders drop down. Nice long breath out. Good. And again, just thinking about the middle of the chest, middle of the back, nice and wide. Those arms are weightless. And again, we're breathing in. As we breathe in, the diaphragm lowers down. Our tummy might expand slightly, but our ribs are certainly expanding. Our shoulders are coming up towards our ears. Good. And then as you exhale, drop the shoulders down. The head is nice and relaxed. Maybe do a little head wobble if you feel like there's some tension building there. Some of you may not be comfortable having your arms all the way above the head. That's fine. Just go as high up as is comfortable for you. And again, we're inhaling, opening up. Tall through the crown of the head. Notice where your head is in relation to your shoulders and your arms. Shoulders up, then drop the shoulders down. Palms turn around. Nice, long, easy breath out. And one more time, we're breathing in. All the way up. This time we're going to do a scarecrow. So now we're bending the elbows, palms face forward. So look at your hands, stop here. Yeah, in the goalpost position. Good. Shoulders drop down. That's it. Bring your shoulders back, elbows open. That's it. And then we're going to bring it forward so our palms and elbows touch. Okay, we're going to inhale to open. And breathe out. Good. Inhale, open. And exhale. So I'm going the middle path here, just around my chest or nipple line. Okay, it's a bit more challenging the higher up your arms are. And also you can make it a little bit easier if you drop your arms down a little bit, if it's too much having your arms up. So this is one variation where they're a little bit lower. Okay, or you could have them up, perpendicular to your shoulders. Okay, so just see how that feels. We're only going to do 2 more. Inhaling, open. And exhale. Good. Last one. Breathing in. And exhale, close. Good. Now we straighten the arms out in front of us. That's it. Take them all the way to the side, back a little further. Right now my thumbs are facing forward. I want you to take them to the ceiling and then try to take them back. That's it. Then thumbs to the ceiling and then forward. And you're moving from your upper arm, from your shoulder, not from your wrist. And open. Good. Thumbs up, thumbs forward, thumbs up, thumbs back. You can always bend your elbows as well if it's a bit too hard to keep them straight. Thumbs up, thumbs forward, thumbs up, thumbs back, and then have them come all the way down. And do a few gentle shoulder rolls. That's it. Good. Give yourself a little shake out there, just freestyle, little gentle head wobbles. Now we're going to turn our head to the right. So you're going to turn your head gently to the right. Good. And notice if some tension forms in this upper shoulder and brings your shoulder forward. Just be aware that the position of your shoulder blades may affect how far you can turn your head. So if you're getting to a point and you're a bit stuck, see if opening your collarbones, lifting your chest a little bit, helps you to turn your head a little bit more. And then bring your head forward to face front. Okay, open the collarbones. That's it. And look the other way, over the other shoulder. Good, opening the chest, keeping wide in the back. And then the head faces front. 2 more each side, over the right shoulder. And the chest, good, and face front. Last one. And front. Other side. And front. Good, and relax. Squeeze the shoulders up towards your ears and relax. And up towards your ears and relax. Good. Perfect. All right. Bring your knees and feet together. Sitting nice and tall on your sit bones. Draw the sit bones together so there's a little bit of support and tension under there. Have your tight seatbelt on, 2 finger widths below the belly button, pulling that in. Okay. And we're going to lift the right leg up first. Pull the tummy in and lift the leg up. And then melt that leg down. Good. The other side. So we're alternating right to left. That's it. Good. Keeping the spine nice and tall. Putting your mind into your muscles. Good. Only using as much effort and as much stability and core that you need. So you're not overstraining. We want strength and not strain. 3 more on each side and lift. Good. Keeping the body nice and still. And 1 more each side and lift. And last one. Now we'll add on some arms. So opposite arm to leg, then we kick the leg out, arm goes up, flex the foot, point the toe, bring the arm down as you bend the knee, and then everything goes back down. And remember, you can use your arm to hold your leg up if that's a bit more comfortable for you. So we lift here, hold onto the leg or not, stretch out, lift up, flex through the foot, point the toe, bend the knee, lower the arm in line with the shoulder, then everything goes back down to the floor. Other side. Lift, extend arm up, flex, point, bend arm lowers, and back down. Other side. Lift, extend out, flex, point, bend, and lower. Good. Other side. Out and flex, point, and lower, and lift both. Extend, lift, flex, point, bend, and lower. One more each side, and lift, extend, flex, point, lower, bend, back down, and extend, and flex, and bend, lower the arm, and back down. Good. Well done. Good. Now we'll do some away from midline. Opposite arm to leg lifts, sitting nice and tall, open from the center, keeping everything else nice and still, back in and back down, alternate to the other side. You lift, tummy in, open, close, and melt down, and lift, open, middle, and melt down, and lift, and open, and back down, and lift, and open, and back down. Good, and lift, and open, and back down. Good, and up, and open, back down. Good, and lift, and forward. Good, and lift. Good, and up, open. Good, and up. Good, one more each side, lift. Squeeze through the center, and lift, open, and back down. Good. Now we're going to put the right ankle on the left knee. Okay. Holding onto the shin, propping yourself up nice and tall. And let's just do some ankle rolls. So we're going to take the ankles one way, getting some circulation in those ankles, and then the other way. That's it. Good. Now leaning forward, you're going to take your forearms onto your shins. Do a little wiggle if you need to. Good. Breathe into those tight bits. Taking your left hand onto your knee, and then you take your other arm and you're reaching across on a diagonal, okay? Good. Shoulders shoulder height. Okay, but you're kind of pushing that knee down if you can. Reaching long to get a little bit more of a stretch through the hip and the butt, and maybe the waist too, depending. Good. Coming back to the middle and coming all the way up to sitting and swapping sides. So putting that foot down, crossing that other ankle over. Good. And then some circles. So we're circling that ankle around. That one way and then the other way. Sitting up nice and tall, we're bending forward, resting our forearms on our lower leg. Doing a little wiggle. Taking a nice breath in and taking just a nice long, easy breath out. Letting yourself sink into that stretch. Good. Now keeping that arm on the knee and the left arm reaching around. Remember, it's sort of in line with your shoulders. You don't need to take it above your head. Just where it's comfortable, you're reaching across and putting a bit of pressure on that knee. You can always stay in that first position if you prefer. Good. And coming all the way up and putting that foot down. And then a little twist stretch, just a little freestyle. Good. Great. I'm going to move my chair sideways. You stay facing forward. Going to grab onto our poles if you've got them and keeping our towel handy. Okay. Now we're moving on to some abdominal work. So my hands are about shoulder distance apart, or if I've got my bar on my knees and my knees and feet are about a fist distance apart, I'm sitting nice and tall on my bones, becoming aware again of my placement of my head and my shoulders, my ribs, my hips and sit bones and feet. Okay, so you can have your hands resting with the pole onto your thighs. You can also have your hands up, or when we do it, you can take them up over your head. So you just go into whatever range of motion and position is comfortable for you. All right, so we're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to take my arms up here in line with my chest and then pull your tummy in to roll back. And use your tummy muscles, pull in to come back up to sitting. Again, only using as much effort as you need to, as much strength through your core as required. You don't need to overstrain, so you're pulling back, keeping your feet planted, and sitting back up onto your sit bones. And again, and back up, and exhale, and back up, and exhale. If you want, you can take your arms up for a bit more of a challenge, bring them down to come forward. Up, or keep them up to go forward and back. That's even more of a challenge. Or reverse it like this, where you roll back to pull down, and then it helps you to sit up nice and tall, but gives you a nice stretch. These are just a few options. 5 more. Breathe in to come up, breathe out to come back. 3, 2, and last one. Hold it there, sitting up nice and tall, resting your pole on your thighs, bending forward, just pulling out through your back, feeling the stretch all the way down to the hip, up through the mid back, low back, lower ribs, spine. Nice breath in. And then we slowly come all the way back up to sitting. Now we're going for some twists as we lean. Okay, so we're holding on to our pole. All right. And we're going to twist first. So we have that as a frame. And then we lean back with a straight back. Okay, we come up and then we face the same way our knees are facing. So we rotate. And face the same direction as your knees and alternating. Reach with a straight spine and up and forward and rotate and lean and up and forward. You can always do this without the pole and have your arms crossed, one shoulder across the other, across your chest, and rotate and lean and come back up and face your knees. One more each side, rotate, lean, come up and face forward. So try to break it down to each movement. Rotate, lean, come up, stay rotated, then face front and lower that bar down. And do a few little shoulder circles. Right, good. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to do a bit of rowing, okay? You can have your elbows bent a little bit for this one if having your arms straight has been a bit too much, or you can keep that challenge going with your shoulders and arms, having your arms straighter. I'm going to do it with my arms bent a little bit. Now you're taking your arms a little bit wider than they were a minute ago, okay? And you're going back, you're going to, this time I am tucking back a little bit, okay? I'm tucking through the pelvis, reaching. I come up, my pole is up and down, yeah? And then I go the other side. So it's one side to the other, sort of like a figure eight. One side and then the other. Now you can lean back as much or as little as you like. And just try to get a nice fluid motion. Again, only using as much strength and stability and stiffness through your body as you need. Imagining a bit of fluidity. Maybe you're on a kayak, you're one with the ocean. I'm very much missing the ocean. And a couple more times each side. Good. And last one. All right, coming all the way up to sitting. Good. Then going to put our put your pole to the side. Grab onto your towel. And roll up. Mm-hmm. Good. Holding onto that towel between the knees, bringing your feet underneath you, keeping that spine nice and straight. Good. All right, so imagine this towel is like an egg. You don't want to crack it, but you don't want to drop it. Okay, we're just bringing some awareness on the inner thighs. Chest lifts. We stand up, push the floor away. So stand all the way up. Make sure the towel works with your legs. Some people it doesn't. It's more of a hindrance than a help. Okay, so see if it is something you want to use or not. You don't have to. Okay, anchor through your feet. I want you to feel the muscles in the front of your thighs pulling up. Muscles in the sides also pulling up, and through the back side and through the inner thighs, of course. Okay. All right. Put my hand, palm of my hands together in the middle of my chest, shoulders down. All right. We're going to take the hips back like a hot seat, and then push the floor away to stand up, pushing the hips forward. And again, hips back. Down. No rocking into the chair. Keeping it nice and controlled, nice steady movements through the body. Halfway down is also okay. Don't need to go all the way to your chair. The most important thing is just to keep that alignment, keep that strength in the legs. 5 more. Squeezing your butt forward. Good. Last 2. And last 1. All the way up to standing. Good. Hold it there. Now we are going to go halfway down into a bend. Hold it there. Push down through your feet. Now, even though your knees are squeezing together, I do want you to feel like you're pushing your feet into your mat and pulling your legs apart. And notice how that lights up the muscles here on the outside of your hips, while you're also squeezing the inside of the thighs and keeping that nice, strong middle, keeping the chest up. Just breathing normal. If you get a little bit tired holding one position, bend your hips down a little bit lower, or straighten your legs a little bit low, a little bit higher. Yeah, just adjust, do little micro adjustments. Good. Holding it just for a bit longer. Keeping your breathing nice and even. Good. And we stand up. Getting, holding on to your towel. We'll use it in just a minute. We're just going to do a little walk here, just stretching those hips out. Put your foot on an angle. Another foot beside the towel. That's it. So you're pushing your hips forward. And taking your arms up, hips forward. Feel that stretch through the back of the calf of the foot that's on the towel. Good, arms come down, hips come back. And up. Make sure you don't hit the chair, taking your arms over your head. You can also just rest your hands on your hips if you prefer. Hips back, hips forward. The chest stays up the whole time. Check in with your neck and shoulders. Make sure they're nice and loose. One more time, hips back and hips forward. To the other side, putting your foot on an angle, resting your other foot beside towel, or a little bit further forward if you need more of a stretch, or a little bit back if it's too intense. All right, find your position, hips forward, arms up. Hips back, arms down. And again. Back down. Breathing it through all the way to the calf, all the way through the crown of the head, up through the fingertips. Arms down, hips back. Last one. And back down. Just move that towel to the side, out of the way. For calf raises, lots of options. Hold on to the back of the chair, lifting up all the way up to the ball of the foot. Good. You can try to hover your hands off the back of the chair, keeping your muscles as brakes through the legs as you go up and down. So we go all the way up onto the ball of the foot, and all the muscles of the legs squeezing the bones, and then controlling the movement down, feeling all the muscle and energy drawing up through the thighs, all the way up as you lower the heels down. You can hold on to the back of the chair, or you can try without, going up as tall as you can, keeping your gaze a little bit higher than straight in front of you, maybe even up to the corner of the room if it's in a distance for you. Yeah, that will just help keep your head lifted and your chest up, all the way up. And you're pitching forward just slightly and back down. Good. 3 more. If you want to take your arms up, you can. Keep them there and lower down, then lower them. Pitch forward up to the ball of the foot. Take your arms up over the head. Lower the heels down and arms come down. 1 more, pitch forward. All the way up to the ball of the foot, arms go up. And then slowly lower down. And bring the arms down by your side and walk it out. Just bend one knee and then the other, keeping the feet flat on the ground. Just get a little stretch in your hips. Now we're going to keep our feet flat and bend the knees slightly, like we're sitting on a super high stool, okay? And our spine stays straight. We're going to go from there. Then we pop our heels up, straighten the legs, and then lower them down, okay? For some of us, that might be a bridge too far, in which case, just bend, stretch through, and straighten, okay? Don't need to pop your heels if it doesn't work for you. So heels up if you can, then straighten the legs again, lower the heels down. You're bending, lift up the heels, then straighten the knees and down, and bend and heels up and back down. 2 more, bend, heels up and back down. Heels up and back down, and relax. And now for prancing. So we're up on our toes. We're going to bend one knee, heel down, then both go up and the other one. So it's like we're wearing really high stiletto heels, alternating sides up and down the other side. And last one, both heels down. All right, so let's lean forward a little bit. Feet are planted underneath our hip, chest open. Now let's take one leg back, keeping that standing leg nice and strong, pulling up through the front and the back of the leg. Pelvis faces the back of the chair. And we lift that leg up just a couple of centimeters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And bringing that leg back down, walking it out, and swapping sides. So again, tilting, bending from the hip. Take the leg back, lift up through the front. Make sure you're using your bottom and there's no strain or pain going into the back, and you lift and lengthen. Nice and strong standing leg. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And bring it all the way back down and just walk out. Good. You can just face me, face the front. I'm going to face you with the chair beside me, just so you can see what I'm doing. So holding on, so you hold on with the chair in front of you, and we're going to bend the knees and just do a little stretch of the inner thighs, thighs wrapping around from the hips, knees pushing back towards the little toe, holding onto the back of your chair and up. So just so you get a little bit of support. This is quite strong, this exercise, and back up. So you're bending, hips drop, and back up. 3 more. 1, and up. 2, spine stays straight. Try not to lean forward from the waist. Good. And last one. Good. Now walk the feet in. Now for some side bends. So you can hold on to your chair if you want. So we're going to take, I'll take our hips over. Good. Then bring your hips over your feet again, a little bit more of a bend. Breathing into the side waist and back up. Cross your arm over and then side bend the other way. So you can do this without holding on to anything. Yeah. Hips lean, get more of a stretch. That's it. Come back to center. Breathe in, reach a little bit more and come back up. 1 more each side to finish. Cross the arm over, lift up through that side. Side bend, hips lean. Bring those hips over the feet again, reach and back up. And again, other side, cross that arm over, front of the pelvis, reach. Hips lean slightly, back to the center. Breathe, stretch, and all the way back up. Good. Thank you, everybody. We'll leave it there for today, and we'll see you next time.